Welcome to the mainstream. I am Simran Shiwalkar, your host for today. We are at Bengaluru for the second edition of Emerge Tech, the Multicity Roadshow brought to you by the mainstream. I have with me Mr. Archit Rajesh. Hi, Archit.
Hi, Simran.
Hello. Archit is the Senior Vice President of Technology at FirstMeridian, and today he would be sharing his critical insights in this conversation. Archit, firstly, I would like to understand from you, how has your experience been in this conference in terms of networking, a lot of exchange of ideas as well, and in terms of connecting with a lot of peers, if you could, share that with us.
Certainly. So, definitely, one biggest advantage of this event is you get to really meet leaders and practitioners and hear their practical perspective
Right.
about what are those challenges that they face in their organization, in their industrial sectors. What are those things that they have tried and failed? What are those things that they have tried and succeeded?
Right.
Now, this is kind of a practical insight which you don't find, from any academic perspective,
Right.
and that's the reason I think it's a great place where exchange of ideas happen. And I really love the way people experience practical examples from their own experiences. I think that certainly adds to the overall magnitude of knowledge that somebody can gain from this kind of an event. So I personally really loved it.
Thank you so much, Archit. And next, I understand from you, speaking of perspectives, you've also been a moderator for the panel on Agentic AI or Gen AI, the revolution of AI. Can you tell us a bit about how do you see this emerging technology, having that kind of impact on businesses, the way operations work in the next few decades or the next
Sure,
few years?
sure. So, much like AI, I think I heard somebody say that every decade or actually now every 5 years you have a new emerging tech coming in,
Right.
which starts off as a buzzword and then finally emerges into something really big.
Right.
While there has been cloud and then has been other things, today definitely there is an AI, and I think definitely AI has come a long way from just being a buzzword,
Right.
right? And it's really amazing to see that while AI is a concept, it's a principle, but the way its implementations has evolved in different industrial sectors. I think one thing that I really loved while moderating that session, panelists from different industrial sectors highlighted firstly how different set of challenges
Right.
they have identified within their organizations that can be solved through a generative AI or an agentic AI. And then finally, it was also interesting to see that how they are implementing different variations of the same technology while solving the same kind of a problem. I mean, if talking about customer experience, that one point that came up in the panel, it was really interesting to see that while somebody in fintech is really working towards make the experience more and more tailored as per their customers, how you can actually make it more customized as per each and every individual customer. On the other hand, somebody from a healthcare sector, it was all about that how they really create the right amount of balance between intelligent automation powered through AI and the human touch. Right. So I think it was lovely to see that how these leaders are solving sometimes the same problem, sometimes different problems through variations of the same emerging technology.
Wonderful. Along the same lines, Archit, AI has already made a huge impact across various verticals, be it finance, healthcare for that matter, or even education. But what's something people often overlook when it comes to realizing, the true potential of AI in transforming businesses from a leader's perspective?
So this question is truly very close to my heart, and I think this really stems out from the idea that how business leaders perceive AI.
Right.
So I think if you look at it, it is important for all organizations, all business leaders, and for that matter, even technology leaders as well, that they should not be driven entirely by the bravado of using AI, that oh wow, I have an AI implementation. Then what happens is it ends up being a passion project,
Right.
which may not have a sustainable business case or a practical use case against it, right? So that's the reason I always say that before trying to even understand that whether you want to solve the problem through agentic AI or generative AI or even AI altogether, it is important that you first do a right kind of diagnosis. You first
Right.
understand that what is the business context of your ecosystem, what are some of the problems that are your key strategic priorities, and then against you do a drill down that are there avenues where any implementation of AI or any other emerging tech can actually be of utmost use, can actually give you a strategic advantage. Once that is set, then I'm pretty sure that you can actually find the right kind of use case. Because if you look at it, and this is not just true with AI, but for that matter, it is true for every other
Every other
technology.
technology.
Correct. That it is incumbent on how successfully you have diagnosed the right business case.
Correct.
True success will depend on that.
Right, right.
So I think that's where my 2 cents would be that it really depends on a business leader, that how powerfully and how impactfully they try and diagnose the true pain points of their
Right.
business, of their customers, of their end users, and then put AI to its use.
Absolutely. I think while AI has the potential to solve a lot of, or automate a lot of tasks, human based, and provide that personalized experience, I think the right kind of diagnosis is required depending on the verticals and the business requirements. But to conclude, when we talk about AI specifically, or every emerging technology for that matter, cloud had its era, we do consider the ethical side as well. Now, especially with deep fakes and the buzz around that, can you provide or can you throw some light around the other side of this technology, and what key pointers businesses should keep in mind while leveraging this tech?
So, the simple answer to this quite a complex question would be that there are two aspects of it. One,
Correct.
which is a legal and a federal aspect of it. Another is the business and the, I would say, the technological angle to look at that. Firstly, like any other emerging technology, it is important that the right kind of legal framework is built to regulate that. You can't solve, legal problems or ethical problems associated with the new age tech with old age laws and litigations, right? So it is important that we first understand that what are the kind of boundaries and challenges that can actually be coming up front from AI or any other new age technology,
Right.
and then a right kind of legal and governance framework needs to be in place. Of course, there needs to be federal interventions at the right level to drive enforcement as well, right? Because otherwise, if you have a legal framework and the enforcement is weak, then there's no point of that.
Right.
So that is one aspect. On the other hand, from a business standpoint, it is actually very important that businesses use all these emerging technologies and AI to be very specifically responsibly. I often give this example that, when you talk about personalization, of course, personalization is driven entirely through training your algorithm, your model on the data that directly comes from your consumption. Now, this consumption data is the kind of things that you use, the kind of your preferences on apps, or your online behavior or offline behavior, a lot of those kind of things, right?
Right.
Your buying patterns, your usage patterns, all of that. Now, I'm sure that all of this consumption data can reveal a lot more about you than
Just
just the
your
amount of
habits.
personalization
Yes.
that you would require, right? So I think that's where
Absolutely.
the ethical boundary lies in, that till the time you are using the consumption data or the production data to actually amplify the experience, to really amp up the experience for the customer, then that's fine. But like I said, that the interpretation, the inferences from this data can actually lead to a lot of other things. And I think we have had cases where you had seen campaigns running across social media
Correct.
can actually lead to
Yes.
influencing a country's election as well.
Elections as well.
So that's where I think it is important that businesses use these technologies very responsibly. And of course, like I said, that the legal and federal frameworks needs to enforce the right kind of governance as well.
Wonderful. Archit, thank you so much for providing your deep insights on this critical topic. And thank you once again for being a part of the conference. While we conclude, I certainly look forward to connecting back again.
Thanks, Simran. It was
Thank you.
lovely catching up.
Thank you.